Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to... I've got horns today. One of these days, it's going to start hissing like Medusa. Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy. I should start this over, but I don't want to. It's the Irish Gypsy, and I am here to bring you your November 2017 general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers who may be with us for the first time. Thank you always for your likes, shares, subscribes, for continuing to follow my YouTube channel, for all the wonderful support, feedback, and comments you guys send. You're brilliant. Keep them coming. So appreciated. I so appreciate you. Thank you. A big thank you also to those of you who continue to keep me so occupied and busy with personal one-on-one readings, both my new clients and my regular ones as well. It is, as I always say, and I always mean it, an honor and a pleasure to read for you, and I'm grateful to be able to do so. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you haven't read with me before, you have and you've forgotten, go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on that About sign or About button, which will give you some more information about me, what I do, the services I offer. I do a wide variety of readings, all different lengths and times, love and romance, career, work, finances, money, 6 and 12-month overviews on all the main areas of your life or on specific areas of your life, compatibility charting, channeled messages, cleansings, and so on. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do, so turnaround time is pretty fast. For personal readings, live or recorded, anywhere from a few days upwards of 3 weeks, but almost always within a 1 to 3 week period of time, we can set something up for you live or recorded. And I can almost always get back with you within the same day of your initial contact. So if you're interested, you can contact me. All that information is also there. My email address, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. If you're looking for a very quick, short, same-day answers, you can also find me on the smartphone app, Instant Go, which is also under that About button, and I posted a video about it about a week ago, which is on my YouTube channel's homepage as well. It's a smartphone app which puts me right at your fingertips. My link for that is also, you will also see that when you hit the About button on my YouTube channel's homepage. It'll take you right to my profile. You can find me under Irish Gypsy on the Instant Go smartphone app. And that's just for, you know, if you have 1 or 2 quick questions, you want a quick look or quick answer at, you have a decision you need to make on the fly, something you want to touch base on real quick, just a really short read. That's an easy, fast, and convenient way to do it. For the traditional, more in-depth, complex looks or spread-specific reading, more specifically oriented readings, of course, just email me and we'll set something up for you. Remember, these are general readings. Check your rising and your moon sign. They may resonate or play out a little more predictably for you. And watching all 3, sun, moon, and rising, if you know them and if you can give you just a more comprehensive look at what's going on in your life during the time frame that the reading covers. Because there's so many of you watching, of course, it's not going to mean the same in the exact same area of everybody's life to the same degree and intensity, because you are all so beautifully, wonderfully individual and different. So try to watch all 3 if you can. So moving right along, let's get into this reading. This is for the fire sign of Aries, Aries the Ram, for November 2017. The babies of the zodiac, our restless ones, our adventure seekers, our lovely fiery Aries, Aries the Ram, the fire sign of Aries for November 2017. What does November look like potentially for our Aries? November 2017. Okay, Aries. I feel almost a sense of movement or flight somehow with you. Okay, we begin with the 9 of Cups, followed by the Hanging Man. The 6 of Swords, I feel like that's travel. The 3 of Cups. We have the 7 of Wands with the 6 of Pentacles. And the 2 of Wands with the 2 of Cups. From the bottom of the deck, your overall, you've got 2. You've got, from the bottom of the deck, your crowning card, which represents overall energy and guidance. You had 2 come out. You're the second let's see, 8 signs so far that's had 2 crowning cards pop out. You have the Hierophant and the Ten of Cups. How lovely. All right, let's just take a look at this, Aries. I feel like some of you are traveling during the month of November. Traveling to or traveling from, although I'm getting a returning energy. And I feel like the beginning of the month, there's a sense of anticipation about it, but still a sense of waiting. It could be that your travel plans, maybe at the end of October, I'm recording this at the end of October, the last week of October, your travel plans may have been delayed, or there's just this sense of anticipation, kind of having to wait. It's interesting. It may be that some of you are waiting to travel. It could be within, I feel like it's long distance, perhaps over water, but it could be, you know, within the state or within the country that you're at. It's almost as if the plans are set to travel, but there's also a sense of waiting. Maybe there's a chance your plans might change. You might go earlier or you might go later. Maybe there's a sense of maybe you're on standby for something. At the beginning of the month, and there's a strong relationship energy in this as well, and perhaps kind of although it doesn't feel like maybe completely immediate or like an emergency or really at the forefront, it's more like an undercurrent running too about perhaps a significant relationship, whether that's a romantic relationship, could be a business partnership as well. You can always, as I say, translate the same energy to another area of your life if that's where you feel it resonates. However the specifics play out in your life in whatever area this may resonate for you, the energy fundamentally remains the same. About where you're going to take this relationship or situation to next. Do you move it to the next level, a deeper level of commitment, obligation, responsibility, love, even commitment, etc., because it feels like the natural next step to where you're at. And so there's this kind of undercurrent of energy, maybe the wheels turning in the back of your mind while other things are going on over the month of November, especially if you're traveling, maybe saying goodbye to people, maybe getting together and celebrating either as you're leaving and perhaps also and or when you're returning as well. So we begin with the Nine of Cups and the Hanging Man. So the Nine of Cups is water energy, and it usually manifests in that area of our life, that water mercurial area of our life that deals with emotions, feelings, relationships as well. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 cup cards. There's a lot of strong emotional feeling energy and maybe a focus on relationships or partnerships as well. The Nine of Cups is generally considered the wish fulfillment card, a card perhaps of getting what you want, of a sense of abundance, particularly in maybe even finances you're surrounding. It's getting what you want. There's always a little bit of cautionary advice on be careful what you wish for, because you may get it and it may turn out not to be what you want. But it is about being at a place where you feel, you know, a sense of abundance. Lighting just got a little strange in here. A sense of abundance, overflowing abundance, and having so much that you just want to kind of spill it over and share it. A sense of happiness and feeling like you have more than enough. And a sense of joy as well. You have the 9 and the 10 of Cups, the 2 and the 3 of Cups. This is all lovely, bright, celebratory, being with other people, being with your soulmate, being with friends, family, sisterhood, brotherhood energy. It's really a sense of feeling abundant. It's almost like what some of you may be leaving behind or saying goodbye to. Maybe you've traveled and you're returning back from those travels. You're having like some goodbye celebrations, but you're also looking forward to returning. But that 9 of Cups is paired with the Hanging Man, which can represent maybe being in feeling like there isn't any movement or a sense of waiting or stasis. But there's a sense of not struggling either. The Hanging Man, he's hanging upside down in what may appear to be a rather awkward or strange, unconventional position. And as depicted in other tarot decks too, he's often depicted as not struggling. This can be withdrawing from a situation or being at peace with where you're at right now because you know number one, you can't change it. Number two, it's only temporary. This could be an actual tangible sense of waiting too in terms of travel or travel plans. It could be a sense of being happy with who you are and where you are in your position in life, even if other people may not agree with it or it may appear to be unorthodox to other people as well. There could be a sense of maybe taking a step back and letting things kind of play out. And particularly in regards to a relationship or a partnership, of letting things kind of simmer for a while, which is, I think, perhaps why I'm getting just this undercurrent of contemplation about a relationship or a partnership, a union of some kind. It's as if you're contemplating it, thinking about it, you know, am I happy with where it's at? It feels like maybe it's time to do something different with it, maybe go a little bit further, take it in another direction, put more work into it in relationships. It could be maybe taking it to the next level, which could be anything from being exclusive with each other to engagement, marriage, moving into each other, whatever taking it to that next level might mean. And also in business and partnership, maybe, you know, going a little deeper, signing a longer contract, something of that sort. I feel like it's more personal relationship oriented, but again, it can translate into other areas as well. There's a sense of simmering over the month of November is what I'm getting, because there's other things going on too, and it's all really happy energy, but there is this strong undercurrent of this is turning over in the back of your mind, maybe sometimes unconsciously, or it's just kind of there and you're letting it do its thing. You're not like overly focusing on it or saying, okay, I have to make a decision now or within this time frame. You're just kind of letting things kind of do their thing, and actually still kind of enjoying life in the process. Now, next to that, we have the Six of Swords and the Three of Cups. So the Six of Swords, air energy, more mental, cerebral, intellectual energy. This is a card of peace, restoration, healing. It speaks of perhaps a difficult, challenging, chaotic, or even painful time, or a time of long struggle being behind you. If you could see the water behind this boat, it would be choppy and wavy and turbulent. But she's moving away from that time period. She's moving into waters which are more serene and placid. And it's a card of peace, restoration, and healing. It's a quieter kind of card, sometimes somber. Healing does sometimes come with its good days, bad days. Sometimes it's a little painful, recovering mentally, emotionally, physically as well. And it's transitional, meaning you've left the worst behind you and you're moving. You're not quite to the other shore where you're on dry land and you're all settled and stable, but you're definitely on your way. You're moving towards something. And it can be a card of travel too. The six, it can be a card of movement and travel. I kind of got that in the very beginning, a sense of travel. Again, travel over water for some of you. It may be international travel. The Three of Cups accompanies it. The Three of Cups, I just got something else which I'll go into in a minute. The Three of Cups accompanies it, which is a card of celebration, a strong, fun social theme. It's about enjoying the time, having a good time and enjoying the time that you spend with other people. But they're people you really connect with, family, friends, people who really get you. It's that kinship, sisterhood, brotherhood, and also a sense of community. I'm getting for some of you, this is just as concrete as goodbye parties as you're preparing to travel, and it could be what you're looking forward to upon your return. And it could be that that friendships, close friendships, and community is part of your healing process and part of what's helping you heal from something or move from a time in your life which has maybe been chaotic or just up and down or just very restless into a more settled period in your life. And knowing that they get you, that they understand where you're at, even if other people don't, because sometimes that Nine of Cups and Hanging Man can represent that what you find to be the source of your happiness and the way you live your life, other people may not agree with it, but it's just who you are. So it can represent that as well. Now, next to that, we have the Seven of Wands, followed by the Six of Pentacles. So the Seven of Wands is a defensive card. It can speak of standing by something, protecting, guarding, defending something because of how strongly you believe in it. Could be a person, a situation, a relationship, a belief system, a job even. Because of everything that you've invested in it. You have a lot invested in it. So you're protecting, guarding, defending it, standing by it. Because you feel a sense of ownership in it because of what you have invested in it. And I feel a strong relationship energy in this as well. It's paired with the Six of Pentacles, which is a card of tit for tat, of mutual, something being mutually beneficial or equal in relationships. It can represent mutual love, mutual respect, mutual fairness, and even investment in energy. And I'm feeling a relationship energy off of this. And this can be what you're contemplating too. It's kind of like in looking at this union, this partnership, this relationship, and considering, is it time for me? It feels like it's time for me to do something, move forward. And moving forward, what does that actually mean in terms of our happiness and health? The other option is to not, which means perhaps separation or walking away. But there's a sense of wanting to hold on to it because of maybe length of time, history, and the fact that it's been, for the most part, quite good on both sides, if that makes sense to you. It's interesting because it's like there's two stories running concurrent. There's, perhaps travel and thinking about things and maybe, thinking about where your happiness is and is it time to transition that into something else, particularly in regards to another person or a partnership. Perhaps looking at other people's opinions, what are they going to think as well? And just standing by, perhaps not wanting to let go and thinking of moving ahead with something because you don't want to let go of it because of how much you have invested in it. So it's kind of like this undercurrent while other things are going on of, where am I going with this? Do I move forward? And if so, how? Because it feels like it's time for something to make a decision about something one way or the other, but not really wanting to let go, not really being ready to do that because of what you have investment and the fact that it's been very, very good. Now, at or towards the end of the month, we have the Two of Wands. It's an interesting reading. It's almost not coming through as clearly as I would like, but it's got to be making sense for somebody because that's what I'm getting. So at or towards the end of the month, we have the Two of Wands and the Two of Cups. So twos are a number of crossroads, duality, choices as well. So it could be at the end of the month, it looks like perhaps, especially if you're traveling or you're returning somewhere, it could be that I feel like that's happening maybe around the middle of the month because that's what the energy is kind of pointing to, although time being somewhat fluid, as I always say, you can give or take a few days or a week here or there. But it's like at the end of November, maybe the beginning of December, it's really about that undercurrent of thinking about where a relationship or a union or partnership is going to go starts to take more of a front seat, and you really start thinking a little more consciously about the future within this situation or relationship or partnership. Because the Two of Wands is about long-term goals, long-term thinking, long-term planning. It's about being at a crossroads and trying to figure out which path to take. The key to knowing which path to take is in knowing where you want to end up, what's your destination. And it's about looking at, not just looking at what you have now, but where, if you were to continue investing in this, where would you want it to end up? Where do you think would be, you know, your big picture goal here. And once you decide where you want to go, what your destination is, then it makes the path getting there quite clear. Otherwise, you just kind of meander, you know, without purpose. And especially in a relationship, it doesn't really work, because relationships usually peter out at some point if you're doing that. If you're not at least kind of moving forward and going through different steps and stages, which is quite natural in a relationship, because that energy is not static. And it feels like you're kind of at that point where, okay, I need to do something. It could be that somebody has brought something up to you. Okay, we're at this point in our relationship, or this point in our partnership. And it could be initially it's coming from the outside in, but there's something in you that says, okay, yeah, I need to choose a path here. And kind of that taking more of a front seat and being more conscious and intentional about thinking about where you want to go with that. You know, at the end of the month. And it's paired with the Two of Cups, which is the traditional soulmate card. It can represent close friendships, best friends. It can represent your love mate, your romantic. It could be, you know, love and romance. It could be a partnership, even a business union. On an energetic level, the Two of Cups represents a really great match on a variety of levels. And love and romance, this represents not just physical and chemical attraction. This is about a meeting of the mind, the heart, the spirit, seeing things in similar ways, kind of, you know, really clicking together on a variety of different levels. And it feels like the two of you, for the most part, I mean, given that relationships all have, and unions, partnerships all have their up and downs, this has really been something that has worked really well for you, something that the connection has been really very good and quite karmic and connected, like it's meant to be there for some reason. And where are you going to go with this? So it's like it's taking more intentional, focused, conscious energy and thought at or towards the end of November, perhaps going into a little bit of December. Now we come to your crowning cards from the bottom of the deck, which represents the overall energy and guidance, advice. We have a beautiful energy here. You had two cards come out, the Hierophant and the Ten of Cups. So the Hierophant is about convention, tradition, taking things to another level of commitment. It represents the natural next ordered step of things. It can also represent large organizations, religions, business institutions, things which have weight, things which are conventional. Again, in relationships, it would be the next natural seeming kind of state, dating, courtship, all of that. Exploring what that might be, because it may mean different things to different people within romantic relationships or, you know, unions or partnerships. But it's paired with the Ten of Cups, which is the happy home card, considered the happy home card, the happily ever after card sometimes. Tens in the tarot represent the ends of cycles. So the Ten of Cups on an emotional level can represent a happy home, blessed life, marriage, home, family, kids, just feeling at that place in your life, particularly in connection to home, family, love, that things have just really come together again. Have really come together, maybe not again, maybe it's for the first time, but really come together. Like it feels like even on challenging days, everything is still the way it's supposed to be. You're feeling a sense of emotional contentment, happiness, fulfillment, culmination, things coming full circle. You know, with this deeper level of commitment, is this where I'm supposed to be headed? There's the potential for this. And it's just this whole kind of considering energy and guidance and energy around that it feels like maybe even if you have some fears or doubts or insecurities about it, it feels like this is a natural progression. But of course, as I always say, we live in a free will zone. You can always choose to do whatever you want to. Every path has value that contains lessons, even if sometimes they're painful lessons we wouldn't choose to repeat. It's a beautiful energy. There's a lot of happiness and celebration and good times here too. This undercurrent of thinking about where to go with a situation or relationship, which feels like it takes the back seat for most of the month, although it's always kind of simmering and takes more of a front seat towards the end of the month, perhaps upon returning back from somewhere as well. Lovely, lovely energy. It looks like, some of you, if not a lot of you, may be moving into a more settled, peaceful place, particularly in regards to relationship or home or family. And it certainly looks like it has a lot of potential to go that way. So Aries, that pretty much sums up your reading for November 2017. I hope you have enjoyed it, that you have, at least some of you may have found it useful or at least not too confusing. Thank you so very much for watching. And again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on that About button, and get more information and my contact email, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. And you can also find me on the smartphone Instant Go app, and the link to take you directly to my profile is there as well. And I will get back to you just as quickly as I can, which is usually pretty fast. So Aries, I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the November 2017 mid-month readings. And until then, as always, I wish each and every one of you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy, happy life. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.